Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. About this live tonight. I'm going to teach very simply tonight how to build your soul inspired business using your gifts, your calling, and and I know that this is going to support you 100% because if there's anything that I hear over and over again, is that I want to figure out how to do what I want to do with my gifts, my talents, my skills, my expertise. I want to work in a way that's congruent with my values. And if you've ever said that, you're going to know you're in the right place tonight. I'm going to break this all the way down over the next couple of minutes. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. I've coached literally thousands of women, supporting them in understanding that you've got to trust. You got to trust that small voice inside of yourself and go for it and go for it. And so this live today is really going to support you in making that shift. And not only in just checking off those boxes and saying, I agree with you, Mia, but as a result of hearing what I'm going to share with you today from my heart, it's what I've done myself and what I've supported others in doing exactly the same thing. Is trusting that still voice to take an action for change in your life. And if you're ready for change, I want you to write right now, I'm ready for change. If you're watching the replay, right, I'm ready for change, because this is a life-changing training tonight. And if your feelings get hurt easily, I will tell you that likely you should visit a different live tonight, because I am going to call you out. My only goal when I do this is to get you to make that change, to stop believing those small stories about your capacity and your gifts and your talent, to stop settling for what does not fulfill you, doesn't pay you enough, and that is making you compromise on the things that matter most. And you know what I'm talking about. And it's different for every single one of us. All right. But if tonight, my only goal is to support you in making that shift. Tonight's live is how to build your soul's business, like your purpose work, like what you were meant to do. And I know that a lot of the women that I work with are spiritual believers or, Christian, but I'm not talking about religion right now. I am talking about the work that you are put here to do. And that work might be, a result of your faith, and you might decide to do that. But what I am talking about is your giftedness, your talent, your purpose, your calling. And it's on the inside of you. And every single time you use it at work, or you use it with friends, or you're just being yourself, you create impact and change. And you've been trying to figure out, how do I take this thing and how do I monetize this thing and change my life? But you've been holding back. If that's you, you're going to love this live tonight. And I know it's going to create change for you. And so I've got just, I've got just 8 points, and they're really, really powerful. And I know it's going to change the way you think about yourself, and that what you come to understand about your ability to create change. So let me tell you my story for those of you who are just meeting me. It's nice to virtually meet you. I am Mia Redrick, a business life consultant. I got started in my company 20 years ago, and I was very much like you when I got started. I was trying to figure out how to take my professional background as a corporate trainer and how to leverage that in a business as a coach or a consultant. Now, I knew what I knew, like you, right? I was really great at having the ability to train people professionally. And I knew I was really great at that in my role at work. Okay. And I also had these really great mom skills, that there were women that would come up to me and ask me, how do you always have time for yourself, your own life? And they just didn't know how to find the me in mommy, right? And I wrote a bunch of books about how they systematically could always date themselves, and how being the best version of yourself means ultimately that you aren't being selfish with your kids. See, I believe that when we don't know ourselves completely, we don't give our kids the full story. They never quite get to know who you really are, because they don't get to see your giftedness if it's in the closet, or if it's unused, or if you don't know what it is because you haven't spent time with yourself yet. And I decided to take the things that I knew, soft skill, motherhood, knowledge, and a hard skill, what I was doing professionally in corporate America, and merge those into a business. And the results were amazing. I literally wrote a book, wrote 3 books, 16 or 17 ebooks right away over a couple of years. Many of the books became bestsellers, but more importantly, I began to do this purpose work, why I was put here, right? To take my talents and my calling and my soul's purpose, the things I cared about the most, that I could affect change in my own life and in the lives of other people effortlessly. I began to do that. And I got signed to Emmy nominated, nationally syndicated television shows as paid talent to be the mom strategist. I was equally done many corporate partnerships with Fortune 100 and 500 brands as the mom strategist, doing my work that I just felt was right. It was a knowing I had, and there was no one that ordained me, that said, "Hey, Mia, you know what? Now's your time. You're ready." I was ready because it was my skills, and you're ready. I hope you hear me on this, okay? And as a result of me running this business, building an amazing brand, I had many women that would come to me and say, "Mia, tell me, how do I do it? How do I build my own business? How do I build my own brand? How do I write for, top publications? How do I build this business and brand from scratch? How can I build a coaching practice?" And I showed them what I was doing. And as a result of that, I've coached now thousands of women literally all around the world from the comfort of my home on my own terms. And, it's something I know is important. And it's not enough of us have been told the truth about how to build a business. And that's why I want to do this live tonight. And the last thing I'll say is that as a result of building this business, in my opinion, the right way, doing what I absolutely love to do, doesn't feel like work. I have to say, when my family needed me most, I could stand in the gap for them. Financially, time-wise, it didn't matter. My husband developed kidney disease about 8, 9 years ago, went on dialysis. I don't know what you know about that treatment, but it's very aggressive. And it really changed the dynamics in my family. And one of the things I was so grateful for, because I built my business the right way when I didn't need it, when my family truly needed me, I didn't have to be codependent on my husband's income and put demands on him so that he couldn't heal the way he needed to. And I didn't have to wait for a job to tell me if I could take time off. I could be there because I had built a business, and I owned my time and I owned my income because I built this business with the models that I've coached tons of women on. So I'm hardcore around this piece because I want you to know you can do this, and not that you can know this from some gimmicky perspective, because I know you guys are probably online seeing people every single week that tell you can be a millionaire in 2 minutes. That's not this conversation, because that wasn't my story. Well, what I learned is that I'm a pretty smart girl and you're a pretty smart woman, right? And that you have the ability, you have the capacity to change your life just by making one choice. For me, I attended a live event, and at one live event, I hired a coach. And from that moment forward, I learned how to build the business of coaching. And I've been a full-time entrepreneur for over 20 years. And if there's just one person or 10 people who listen to this live, or who knows, hundreds of people or more that listen to this live, and it changes your life, and as a result of that, you do something with what I say, then I'm so grateful to pay it forward in that way. If you're ready, you guys know the drill. If you're ready for the live, you got to say you're ready. If you're ready for my lives, and if you're watching the replay, right? I'm ready, because you have to be ready to receive a powerful message. And this is definitely going to be a powerful message today. How to build a business that inspires your soul, your calling, your giftedness. How to use what you already have. All right. And how to be all of who you are. Because some of us want to start a business, and you've been told that you can't bring all of you to the table. And so you've got slices of the puzzle in this business that you're creating, and there's something missing, and you can't figure out what it is. And it's because you're not showing up 100% being all of who you are. And today, I'm going to change all of that. I know it. I know it. All right. Remember, it is a tough live. So if you are new and you're just meeting me, there are tons of lives on YouTube that are definitely gentler than this, but I want you guys to get this. Very, very powerful. Number one, the first thing I want you to keep in mind is that if you want to build a business based on what you're called to do, you have to first focus on your uniqueness. Okay. And what I recommend is the following. You got to observe the masses, but do the opposite. Okay. Observe the masses and do the opposite. So if we're talking about you using your gifts, okay, the things only you know how to do. You've got a very unique path. Think about how, how you've grown up, or what kind of education you've had, the mentorship you've had over the years, the internships, the training, the experience that you've had at work. You have a very unique path. And if you've been trying to do this business like someone else exactly, and it's not working because you are trying to be a version of them instead of understanding that all of your power is in your uniqueness. And I will tell you, if there's anything that I say tonight that's true, golly, this is like the truest thing ever. When I got started, I went to a small business resource center in my town, and the director of the small business resource center, the director told me, look, no one will ever buy mom coaching from you. Like, you need to just get another job as a corporate trainer that pays more money and do that. All right. So what you have to understand is that the thing you're meant to do, there's no one in the world that can tell you yes or no, this is for you or this isn't for you. So in that moment, if I had decided that being a mom coach was based on someone else's saying, in essence, you can do this or you can't do this, I think about the thousands of women that I've had the opportunity to touch because I trusted my unique gifts and calling. Are you guys hearing me? Okay. If I gave my power over to a friend or someone that doesn't even have the courage to launch a business and say, what do you think? And they begin to punch holes in my uniqueness, my idea, the thing that makes you scarce is the thing that makes you valuable. See, it was because I could see something that was for me that he couldn't see that was for me because it was for me. And the same is true for you. And I don't know where you're sitting right now. There are probably tons of journals that you've written in and said, this is the thing I want to do. This is the thing I believe I'm meant for. My gifts, if I could do them this way. And that you've shared that idea perhaps with someone else who is not in a position, right, to support your dream and your elevation. And as a result of that, they've begun to say, what about this? I mean, do you have enough money to do that? I mean, you're going to have to go back to school to do these things. All of these things that people tell you when they don't understand that for you, when you operate in your giftedness and in your calling, those are not necessary at all. Okay. Because there's going to be a shortcut for you, right, as a result of what you're doing because you're operating in your giftedness. It's completely different. See, I had no idea, just saying yes to the gift, to owning my calling, to stop hearing those voices of other folks louder than my own, that I had no idea that it was going to open the door for me to do national television on 2 shows, right? The New Ricky Lake show, I was their mom expert. America Now, I was their mom expert. I had no idea that was going to happen, but I had the gifts. Okay. And I know we've all heard your gifts will make room for you. Okay. That's what it looks like. All right. And it can't make room for you if we're listening to other people who don't understand our uniqueness. And I want you to observe what others do, but do the exact opposite. Follow where you're supposed to go, not where other people are going. It has nothing to do with you. Number 2. All right. And I hope that some of you will feel relieved from this. If you thought, oh, I need the blog, I need the podcast. Oh, I need to, go on live every single day. Oh, I need to build this business with 10 funnels or whatever. You don't have to do that. I teach my clients really simple ways to show up as themselves. And they all have very unique paths as to how they market, how they share themselves with the world. Some of them use paid advertising. Some of them don't use paid advertising. Some of them are really great with their referral relationships. They're able to market that way. Others use different strategies that I teach them. Really simple, but it's different for every single person based on your gifts. You find what works and you do that. You do the thing that is easy. Easy doesn't mean that there is no work. Easy means that there's a knowing that, man, like, in order for me to do what I have to do, it doesn't have to be difficult. Okay? It doesn't have to be difficult. All right. Number 2, the second thing I want you to keep in mind is, this is so good. Second thing I want you to remember is you got to decide how you want to live. Okay? Because that's the foundation for your life. Let me explain this. Okay? You got to decide how you want to live. Okay? What do you need to give up to be happy, to be fulfilled? Ask yourself that. Look at your life right now and say, what is it in my life right now that I need to get rid of to make room for what I really and truly want? Now, listen to me on this. Now, because this is a radical thought, we're talking today about how to build a business based on your gifts, your passion, your calling, and your ability to create results in huge ways for others. And you already know that you do this because you've seen the evidence. Your friends are coming back telling you the kind of results your advice has created for them. Your boss or your team's coming back and they're saying, man, on this project, we couldn't have done it without you. So your life has evidence. Now I want you to think about, how do you want to live? And this is such a powerful question. And I'm so grateful. It was a question I asked myself 20 years ago. I said, I want to work from the comfort of my home. I want to be the cupcake mom. I want to be able to be the mom to bring the cupcakes to the kids when they were in primary school. I wanted to be that mom that owned her time enough, right? Had both time and tremendous income that I could be there in the ways that I desired as a mom. That was one of my goals. That was one of the things. I also said, I have got to be free, 100% free. All right. And I did not want to be codependent on my husband's income. All right. And counting that as my income. I wanted to know for sure that I had the ability to provide for myself. All right. And my family. All right. And I wanted to know that I didn't have to be dependent on my job. My question is, when you ask yourself that question, how do you want to live? What does it look like? I wanted to be able to work from the comfort of my home or anywhere around the world. I want you to imagine right now, okay, your life on your terms. What would you be doing? When would you be working? See, I only wanted to work 2-3 days a week. Now I work 1 day a week on Tuesdays is my primary work day. Okay, servicing my clients. I wanted to have a life where I didn't live to work. Okay, I didn't live to work because I knew that model. That was the model that my parents had. I didn't want that for myself. 40, 60, 70-hour work weeks, doing work that I didn't like, working with people that didn't necessarily respect or value my gifts or my talents. How do you want to live? All right. And answering that question will become the defining moment for how you build this business. You see, a lot of my clients, they come to me and they have to rework. They have to unlearn what they've learned because they've been told you work 40 years, maybe 2 companies, 3 companies. All right. Then you get to retire with half of, 75% of whatever it is that you've been working or earning over the course of 40 years. Okay. That when you get to the top, sometimes you have to be open to not being properly valued, sometimes because of age discrimination. You guys know what I'm talking about. Or watching young people who are willing to do what you were doing for 20 years, come in for less money and do it, and you get replaced for this place that you've given your all to. I'm asking you, how do you want to live? And if you had to rewrite the script for yourself, what does that look like? Okay, because you could be 25 right now and totally rewrite your script. You could be 30, totally rewrite your script. 40, 50, it does not matter. Okay, but asking the question is super important because it was when I asked myself that question and I started to entertain different models, a model built on leverage, that my entire life changed. And a lot of us are building and creating structures in business or saying yes to jobs or relationships or partnerships in business that aren't congruent because we've never asked that question. When I think about the number of women that I've supported who have said yes to, building a business, maybe it's a franchise business, and you're in 70, 100 hours a week because you just never really thought about how you wanted to live. All right. Ask yourself that question. Is this making sense? If this is making sense, I want you to write, this is making sense. Now, do me a favor and share, tag a good friend who will benefit from this message today, because one of my goals is just to support more women with understanding. You can change your life by asking yourself the right questions and taking action. Number 3. Okay. Number 3. I'm so glad you're here, Idris, and I'm glad it's making sense, Sonia and Linda. So excited for you guys. Number 3. Oh my goodness. Fanika, good to see you. All right, number 3. And congratulations. You just bought a program, if I recall. All right, congratulations. I'll take amazing care of you. Number 3, stop worrying about what others will think and recognize what the cost is for you not living at the level of your desires. Now, let me say this slowly, okay? Okay, now we're talking about how to build a business that inspires your soul, the calling, the giftedness on your life, right? So I want you to stop worrying about what other people will think about you launching big, doing your own thing, okay? And recognize, what has it cost you, okay, as a result of you not living at the level of your desires. Because a lot of times we never think about, what is the price you're paying right now because of not launching, because of not saying yes to yourself, or waiting, right? Or deferring the dream. What has it cost you? Okay, has it cost you income, right? Has it cost you time, because you're trading time for dollars? Has it cost you time with your family, not being able to be there because you always thought that, I just got to make sure I do this and then I'll be able to do that? Has it cost you your example to your family? Has it cost you your marriage in terms of intimacy? Because when you come back from work, you're like, I'm so tired, right? I just cannot, all right, like, do another thing for another person. I'm asking you, or something else. But I think it's so important to understand that sometimes that we say yes to things because of status, right? We say yes because we're comfortable. We say yes because of fear. And what I see a lot with professional women is because we're winning at what we do professionally. Sometimes we are worried about what other people think about us doing this new thing, because what if this new thing doesn't work? And you already have this reputation, and you're thinking about this reputation you want to protect. But I just want you to think for a second, what is the cost of you not stepping into the highest version of yourself, being all of who you want to be right now? Not 5 years, 3 years. Because if another person writes me and tells me they get ready to launch something in 3 months, okay, I'm like, is this really a serious statement? Are we really believing that you got a dream and a calling, a giftedness on your life, and you can stop that calling by saying, in 3 months I'm going to get started? That's like me telling you guys, I'm going to go downstairs and get on my tonal in 3 months. Okay, you already know I'm not getting on the tonal. If I tell you I'm getting on the tonal in 3 months, okay, I'm not. If I tell you I'm getting on the Peloton in 3 months, I'm not riding the bike in 3 months. And the same is true with deferred dreams. So the question is asking yourself, what is it costing you to say no to yourself right now? What is the price you've paid? Think about it. You probably paid a price today. All right. Is it commuting? Okay. You're too smart to be sitting in traffic 2 to 4 hours every single day. All right. Think about it. All right. What does it cost you? Right. Is it that it's cost you your lifestyle? Maybe you don't have the lifestyle that you desire. And it's not so much of having the house and the cars and it looks good on the outside, but I'm talking about lifestyle to be able to enjoy it, to be able to be present. I told you it was going to be a tough live tonight, but I think it's so important, because when we have it all, many times when we have it all, it looks good and we start believing that fairy tale. And I want to help you unravel that today, so that you can step into a different version of your life. One of the greatest compliments that one of my clients, Jasmine, said to me a couple of years ago, I guess it must have been 3 years ago, when she had her baby. And she took off for like 3 months, maybe longer, but 3 months. And she said, one of the greatest things she loved was that she didn't have to go right back to work, because of the structure of how she built her business around the life she wanted to live. She had true freedom. I'm asking you, like, what is the price you're paying right now because you've been afraid, because you've been afraid of what other people think, what your spouse might think. Don't get me started about asking your spouse permission about you investing in yourself. All right. I have been married 26 years in December 26th. It'll be December 29th. December 29th. It'll be 26 years. And I've never one time asked my husband permission to grow myself. Can you imagine if I wanted to go to the gym and I said, Pat, do you think I should do personal training? He's thinking, should you do personal training? If I said, Pat, do you think I should hire a coach to help me build a business? Because that's what I want to do is and he would think, is that what you want to do? And there's so many of us that we don't have the confidence in ourselves to invest in ourselves and share that with our spouse as this is my decision, not this is I'm asking permission to grow myself. Think about when you went to medical school or when you went to law school, when you went to graduate school or whatever schooling or certification you decided to do. Did you ask your spouse permission to do that? And when we're talking about growing ourselves, that is not something where we take a public survey to figure out, can I do this? Now, I know that there's somebody out there saying, Mia, well, we have to talk about everything because my spouse and I, we have to look at budgets and things together. I understand. But I also understand you work every single day. And I also understand the cost, the price, and what you're not really giving your family because you haven't showed up 100% as yourself. Okay. And then you weigh that cost. Look, I told you today I was going to break this down. And my only goal is to shake your shoulders a bit. All right. And get you to move on over to this other side of reality of understanding, like, look, on the other side of that is freedom. Every single thing that you want, you have got to say yes to. And there's no one else that can say yes to what's next for you but you. You got it? Okay. If you got it, I want you to write, I got it. Okay. I told you. I'm going to be truthful with you today because I know for a fact that saying yes to myself changed my life and it's changed my family's life. And it really has made a tremendous difference. And I want that for you. And if I don't tell you the truth, then you don't get that. It becomes this watered down message that you see all these people marketing and it becomes all about money, money, money. It's not all about money, 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 but money creates freedom for you. If you build this business right, you get yourself free. And the things that you wanted to do with your life, you get to do that. All right. And this idea of chasing someone because of a launch or a funnel strategy, all of that, it's the reason why this stuff isn't working for you. You got to find your giftedness, your purpose, your calling, and be in alignment with that. You got to understand that your uniqueness is the only thing that matters in terms of what you're meant to do. All right. And that there is an easy way to live. There's an easier way than what you're doing. And you've got to ask yourself right now, how do I want to live? Okay. And if you're not asking yourself those questions, it's the reason why you're not living the way that you desire, because likely you don't even know it. All right. I'm asking you, how do you create for yourself that which you desire if you can't explain it? You never thought about it, right? Most people have never thought or met any person. I mean, I'm 53. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for over 2 decades. I work from the comfort of my home. And I'm not saying this to be braggadocious. I'm saying it because it's real. Okay. And I want people to know that it is real and that you can live that way. I know for me, I knew a lot of people who were successful, but I only met one person 20 years ago who was living this way. All right. And I hired her as my mentor. She's still my coach today. I actually had a coaching call with her today. Every Monday, I have a coaching call with her for 20 years. She changed my life. She was truly free. I never knew or met anyone building a business on leverage. I knew a lot of people had a lot of status. I knew a lot of people who had a lot of things, big house, big cars, a lot of amazing, shiny objects. But what I've learned for myself is being able to own my time, not having a cap on my income, not trading time for dollars, in the truest sense, it's been a gift. And I want that for you. All right. I want to break it down. All right. I want to break it down. Number four. Oh my goodness. 4 is great. Number 4 is create your own lane. Okay. Now I know you've been told when you want to build a business based on your gifts, your calling, your talent, right? That, stay in your lane. You've probably been told that. Stay in your lane. But the reason that you're stuck right now is because you followed that advice, staying in your lane. All right. But I want you to understand that your magic, my magic, is that I create my own lane. And I am not interested in what Coach 1 or Coach 2 or Coach 3 is doing. Has nothing to do with me. Okay, nothing to do with me. And if you are studying other people online to figure out what they're doing, to figure out what you're supposed to do next, it is the reason why what you're doing isn't working. It is the slow route. It is the thing that will confuse you the most. It is the thing that will make you the most insecure. I've built an incredible business, and I teach other women how to do exactly the same thing by creating your own lane, being in your a category of one for yourself. See, the thing that we don't recognize enough is that there is only one you. The way you know how to solve problems, the way that you show up, your background, your skill, and your talents. And when you understand how to properly value that, how to properly package that, drop that into a structure that's highly valuable, when you understand the value of what you bring, the transformation that you bring to the table that can change someone's life, you're unstoppable. But most of us don't understand this because we've been so programmed by others, okay, to stay in your lane. Don't go over here. What does that mean? Okay. And you got to think about sometimes those unconscious messages that we begin to live out each and every day. Like, I can do this, but I can't do that. If you do this, you can't do that. Why not? Okay. If I decided to listen to that director who told me that mom coaching didn't work, I would not have merged mom coaching with my background as a corporate trainer because he said they did not fit. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. But the truth of the matter is that, I have my own highway to create, and you do too. And you've got to understand that. And it's going to take some personal development work. It's going to take courage. All right. And it's going to take an incredible community that's like-minded to support you in understanding you're on the right path, 100%, being yourself. 100%. And I always tell my clients that I think the most disrespectful thing ever, if you're working with your coach, is to be a mini version of them. Because the truth of the matter is, it's all of who you are that's your magic and your special sauce. It's not being a smaller version of anyone. So the only questions to ever figure out is, what is it that I do exceptionally well? And to work with someone that can pull that out of you, that is my sweet spot. That is what I do exceptionally well. Janet, you came to the Giant Experience. I understand that we all have a valuable, unique gift. And a lot of times we've been hiding from it, not using it, not playing with it for so long that we have no idea that it's right there in front. And if you've never thought about that, that's probably why you've listened to others that have said, stay in your lane. It's the reason why you're stuck. It's the reason why when you think about what could you do with what you're doing, you're like, I just don't see how people would buy this. I just don't know what this would be. Well, it's because you've been taught that there's one place for you to be. But I want you to understand that you were meant to create your own roads. Okay. You were meant to create your own roads. Janet writes, thank you, Janet. Janet writes, yes, the Giant Experience is awesome. And it really opens your eyes and your soul, right? Like literally, I just love it because women really come with this idea, like, this is what I do. And then after hearing them, I'm able to really help them really elevate what is really inside of them and what the possibilities can look like and what the profitability could be properly structured. And that's usually the thing that is missing because we haven't had people in our world to help us to create our own highways, our own roads, right? They've said, no. You just stay right over there. That's what you're good at. Just do that. Okay. All right. Think about it. Number five, the fifth thing on how to build a business that inspires your soul, calling, and your giftedness is, this is good. Oh my goodness. Okay. You got to recognize that self-trust can make you rich. Okay. Self-trust can make you rich, but doubt, insecurity, listening to others, not standing in your value, not knowing what your value is will make you poor. Okay. And I wanted to break this down. I'm going to say it again because this is a big concept. All right. Recognize that self-trust can make you rich. Okay. Versus self-doubt. Listening to others, right, who aren't in a position, right, to elevate your dreams. Okay. Or maybe even relatives or people who like they've not done the thing that you are able to do. I want you to understand that self-trust is everything. If you're standing in your purpose, if you're leveraging your gifts, your skill, your talent, you having the ability to trust that yourself, like, I could do this. It's everything. Okay. There's every single person that I've ever met living their dream. We've all danced with, dealt with fear in some way. My biggest fear story ever was I did not know how to swim 9 years ago. Did not swim. An adult, my kids could swim, did not swim. And I signed up for my very first triathlon and invited 11 women, started a triathlon team called the Iron Moms, because I don't quit on people. And I figure I have to learn to swim because I've got 9 months to figure it out for this triathlon race. And I think it was a 0.68 swim right in the lake. I forgot about that part, right? And then a 3-mile bike ride, no, 16-mile bike ride and a 3-mile run. That's what it was. So I had to learn to swim. I had to hire a swim instructor to learn, one, how to put my head in water, and because I didn't know how to do any of that, I was petrified of it. And then even after those lessons, I had to learn how to open water swim, and I had to learn how to endurance swim. So I hired a triathlon swim coach, learned to swim 2 miles without stopping in open water. Okay. And the rest is history. I did 3 triathlons. The girl that didn't know how to swim, I was scared out of my mind. And I want you to understand this. You are going to be afraid at times, but fear is a gift. I learned that as a result of facing my fears, I got to live with a new gift. And I found out about myself that I was an amazing swimmer. Me, the girl that didn't know how to swim. And my question for you is, what is it that you're amazing at that you have not danced with yet because you haven't faced your fears? Maybe you've been listening to the wrong people, okay? The wrong messengers, the wrong teachers, okay? The wrong instructors. In my case, I had to find people who could help me despite the fact that I had no skill, none in swimming at all. Had not swum. I was a water kick splasher on the beach. That was it. Now, I didn't do any more than that, right? If you can relate to what I'm saying, I want you to write, I can relate, because I want to break this down for you. If I could swim in a lake, guys, with other people doing that, I don't even know, thousands of people that signed up for this race. Okay. If I could do that, I know that you could take the giftedness that you already have, the skills you already have, and you could leverage those skills, those talents right now. Okay. You don't even have to figure out what you're good at. See, I wasn't good at swimming, but see, it was because I wanted it that bad. It wasn't optional for me. I had the accountability. I had the coaching, right? I wasn't going to quit on these women. They could have swim themselves. All right. And we did it. Not once, 3 times. What is it that you can do? You know, it's an incredible feat. 9 months, I learned to swim 2 miles without stopping in open water. And it's one of the accomplishments that really introduced me to myself. And it's not until you decide to step into the thing that you're meant to do, okay, that you know inside of you can do, that you will be introduced to yourself. All right. Oh, goodness, this is good. Number 6. Oh, this is good. So number 6 is understand that just because you don't know what it might look like doesn't mean it's going to take you long. Okay. Now let me break this down for you. Now we're talking about how to build a business based on your skills, your talent, your soul's calling. And I know that there's someone out there that's saying, like me, I know I want to run a business, or I've been running this business this way and I want to change it. And how long is it going to take me? You know, it's going to be a year. How long will it take me to hit 6 figures or more? Or like, how long before 7 figures? How long? Just because you don't know what it looks like doesn't mean it's going to be a long time. So you see, if someone would have told me, if I relate swimming, that me in 1 year, if someone would have just told me this, okay, versus me leading with my calling, leading with my purpose. I love to inspire women, and me signing up for this triathlon and having a team was a way to do it. If someone would have told me before that in 1 year I would learn to swim and I would be swimming 2 miles in open water, I would never believe that. Okay. 9 months to that result was incredible. But there's something really powerful about our skills and our abilities exponentially when we lean into our gifts, our talents, our purpose. The time isn't the same because the motivation is different. You guys hear me on this, okay? When I think about what I've been able to create in 20 years, I'm 53, okay? Means that when I was 33, I decided I want to change my life. And I have to say, at 53, relatively young, man, I changed my life. See, there would be people that would say 20 years ago, there's no way that would work. There is no way, okay, that you're going to be a mom coach, Mia, right? Because that's how I started my business, and that you're going to change your life this way. There's no way that you'd hit six figures. There's no way you would hit multi millions of dollars selling coaching and training. There's no way you would get signed to television show. No way you'd work with Panera Bread twice, Corner Bakery Cafe, the Great Harvest Bread Company, the Hyatt Regency, Marriott Court. There's no way. But I was operating in my giftedness. And so exponentially, I was able to create results that defied what people do when they do things that they don't love to do and they're not meant to do. And the same is true for you. So you got to understand that leaning into the thing that is your gift, you are going to grow and exceed exponentially when you set it up in a way that I suggest, right? With ease and grace. And so many of us have been taught this whole model of hustle and grind or building a business outside of yourself. And when you think about if you really get the business based on how you were thinking of running it before, you don't really want it, right? Because you weren't going to have the time, you weren't going to have the income. For those of you who have been consulting or coaching clients individually, and you're like, man, I couldn't even take on 40 more clients. For those of you who are charging $200 an hour, $300 an hour, $500 an hour or more, you're like, man, I'm making the income, but I just am suffocating as it relates to my time. And I cannot imagine doing double of what I'm doing right now. See, the money is always in the model. And if you don't know the model as part of what is in the way, trust me on this. If someone would have told me prior to 20 years ago, have I not seen it from myself, working with someone who was truly free? My advice to myself was always, if you're not free, you can't teach me. Okay. If you're not free, you can't teach me. I don't want to hear hypotheticals about, somebody kind of making six figures or someone's kind of a millionaire. If you were going to teach me, you had to be free. That was my prerequisite for every single thing. All right. And I had to understand for myself that just because I didn't know how I was going to do it didn't mean that I couldn't do it and didn't mean that it was going to take forever to do it. And I want you to understand this, and I want you to think about it this way. Okay, lean into this. What if it took you, okay, of course, everyone can relate to 3 months or 6 months or 1 year success. But I want you to think for a minute, what if it took you 18 months? What if it took you 18 months to lay a foundation in your business where you double the income you currently make and you never have to look back and you get all your time back, right? Is it worth it? I mean, just think about that for a minute, because all of us could say 1 month success instantly, great. Well, 6 months, okay, you can see that. 1 year, but what if it took you 18 months and you beat the system for the rest of your life because you built the business the right way? Would it be worth it? Right? To trust yourself enough to launch. I'm asking the question, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? Because so many people don't ask that question. They don't ask themselves that question. And because they don't ask themselves that question, they enter a business with the wrong mindset. See, in my case, I was an 18-month overnight success. An 18-month overnight success. Now, along the way, I generated income, but I was laying the foundation for something amazing. All right. And I have never regretted those 18 months. See, it laid the foundation for change forever in my life. And you got to understand, when you're starting a business, you've got to have that type of mindset that if it took you 18 months and you never again had to go back to the conventional way that you were, that you could control your time. You can live life on your own terms. You can be with your family the way that you desire. Would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? And I'm telling you, I was an 18-month overnight success. I was an 18-month overnight success, and I've never regretted that. And I think most entrepreneurs have the wrong mindset around success, and they chase these sparkly things that aren't real. I had to lay the foundation. I had to do it the right way. And I wanted to share this with you because I know that a lot of you have had that sickening feeling in your stomach from hearing things that you're like, is this real or is this real? I don't know what's real. And that's why when I come here on Mondays, I just lay truth down on the table. For those of you who want to eat truth, then I just share that with you. Okay. And I know that every single person that I've had the opportunity to share this message with, that I've given you something to chew on that has value. And I've given you something that I've used myself. All right, number seven, and we just have 8 today, okay? How to build a business that inspires your soul, your calling, your giftedness. Number 7 is, oh my goodness, this is so good. Okay, all right. Give up the hard, feeling unappreciated, settling, the unrewarding, and surround yourself with the opposite, okay? Okay, that's clear, right? Okay, so give up. It's time to, when you think about your work, it's time to give up this idea that it has to be hard, okay? That the work has to be hard, that you have to feel unappreciated in your workplace, normalizing that for yourself, okay? Because sometimes we've dealt with toxic so much that that's the expectation that we have as it relates to our work. Right? Of settling when you know there's something bigger for you, but settling for something that isn't enough. And each and every month you're reminded of this because of something that happens in your environment, in your work, whether it's your coworkers, whether it's your boss, whether it's the assignments, whether it's the demotions, whether it's your salary, your check, whatever it is. Okay, you have that remind that you're settling. Or doing something that's unrewarding. It was rewarding, it's not any longer. And surround yourself with people who are the opposite of that. And I call those people giants. I only work with giants. My clients call themselves giants. And it is because I know that there's power in working with people, your own ambition level and above. And I have an appetite. And I have an ability, and anyone that's my client can tell you this. If they're watching the replay, if they're watching live, I have the ability to attract amazing, incredible women who really care for one another, but who are smart, who are sharp, who are accountable, who are action takers. And for many of the women who I have the opportunity to consult with, it's the very first time that they ever met their own soulmates. People just like them. They've been looking for them, but even professionally, or even in their sororities, or they've met girlfriends that they love, but they haven't met people, their own ambition level and above. I'm asking, all right? And I want you to understand that you can give up that hard route. Work doesn't have to be that, okay? You can create a shift. For me, I created what I call the transition plan. I said, when my youngest son was, when he was in school all day, I said, I want to be free. Okay. Matthew will be 17. You guys hear me this. Matthew will be 17 in March. All right. I told you it took me 18 months. All right. So I beat that plan. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for over 20 years. I started my business when my daughter, who's 20, okay, when my daughter's 20, I had the idea, I'm gonna do this. I then launched, kind of like thinking about what I wanted to do. Went to a live event, met a coach, had to figure some things out, was pregnant with Matthew. And that was my plan. I was like, when Matthew's in school all day, I want to have figured this out. Now, I gave myself 5 years, and I didn't need 5 years. So that I hope that when you hear this, what I just said here, that right above, like the idea that if it took you 18 months, right? For me, I gave myself 5 years, right? But if it took you 18 months, like I knew that I could transition to the success I desired. And I want you to hear this, because I don't think a lot of times we think about that transition or creating a transition plan for ourselves, but it's so important. And it was so pivotal in my role, because I didn't put that pressure on myself of saying like overnight in 30 days, I got to like make $1 million, right? I did it. Okay. I knew it was possible. I just had to figure out how to do it online, because I didn't know anything about doing things online. And I was relatively, and still am, low tech. Okay. So I had some things I had to figure out. How am I going to find these people if I don't see them? Right. Because I was so used to seeing people and marketing to them. But I want you to know, give up believing that this thing has to be hard. It doesn't. Okay. Believing that your work, like in order for you to get to where you need to, you got to put your head down, you got to put your hustle on, all these things, this toxic language that people say you got to be twice as good, and work twice as hard for the rest of your life. It is not sustainable or healthy. All right. And maybe it's just time to embrace a new belief system that's more congruent with how you want to live. Right. And for me, I didn't want that. I didn't want to have to work, twice as hard, twice as long for half, okay, or a third of what I deserved. I didn't want a cap on my income. I didn't want that. Okay. And I knew I deserved more. And I want to tell you, you deserve more too. All right. And number eight is simply, if anything that I've said to you today resonates, then register for the Giant Experience Master Training. The next live training is December 11th and 12th. That's next weekend. It's a weekend. It's a wowzer. Let me tell you, it is. And we'll pull back the layers. I'll support you step by step in understanding how to use those gifts, how to leverage them, how to package them into an offer as a coach, a consultant, a trainer, online educator, a speaker that's highly valued. Show you how to use your gifts, look at them completely differently, and put them in structures that my clients have used to create incredible magic, and not from a perspective of me telling you that I do something that I don't do. You can go to the Giant Experience training. I think Krizia has a link here. You can go to that page, and it's here. And you can click on the link for yourself. And look at a couple of testimonials. Look at 3, 5, 10, 20. And if you need more, we'll send you 20 more. We've got hundreds and hundreds of testimonials from women just like you who wanted to figure out how to leverage their giftedness. The difference is they didn't wait. They didn't watch 10 lives. They took an action. And I teach them how to value the gift, because a lot of you already are in business and doing amazing things, but you're just doing it in the wrong order, or you don't know how to charge to fully stand in your value. I worked with a client recently who was charging $200 a month or $250 a month, not a month, an hour for services. And I showed her in just an instant how to go from that to a speaking engagement, which she was going to charge like $3,000 for, to she made 15 grand within like 5 minutes of us working together. And then from there made about $96,000 in, what was it, about 80 some days. Okay. I'm not saying that will be your result, but it's different. But I have a lot of clients that create instant, fast results, because when you're gifted and you're talented, the question isn't what are you going to do? It's question is, what is it that you need to know that you don't know? But usually my clients do so well quickly because they already have the talent and the gifts and the ability to create results for others. They just don't know how to package it into a high level product or service. They don't know the different ways to market it. They don't know the ways to sell what they're doing, because a lot of them haven't been selling at all anything, and they don't want to be salesy. They don't know how to market on these platforms in a way that they could, that's easy. They've been learning tons of funnels, right? Or going live every day. I go live every Monday. You guys see me every Monday. I'm live. Okay. And that's it. Okay. And there are easy organic ways to be able to market. There are paid traffic ways to be able to market that are simple. There are really easy ways when you have high level skills to close business significantly for $2,500 or more without a whole lot of offers. And it's important to know, like, you don't have to start at the bottom when you're already at the top of your game. I'm going to stop right there. I would love to know your ahas, your takeaways. Now, you get a chance to give me feedback. Give me your ahas, your takeaways, the thing that you heard today that you're like, man, that was so good. I'm keeping that. I'm using that. And I would love to hear from you. I'm just going to recap for those of you who are new on the live and give you an opportunity to write your ahas and your takeaways. Again, I'd love to see you at the Giant Experience Master Training next week. We fill up quickly, so make sure you sign up. Okay, and how cool is it to go into your new year clear? All right, this idea of getting clear in January, go into the new year knowing what you're going to do, knowing what you're going to charge, knowing how to structure what you're going to do, knowing how you're going to build your life around your business, knowing that. All right, number one, here's the recap: how to build a business that inspires your soul and the calling on your life. Number one, focus on your own uniqueness, right? Focus on your own uniqueness. Okay, let me grab it here and I'll post it, the link for you so that you can do it and see for yourself. You can always go to miaredrick.com also, because all of my links are there as well. But the Giant Experience Master Training is what Krizia posted for you. Okay, 1 second. There it is. I just posted it for you. Okay, number one, focus on your own uniqueness. Focus on what you do. Okay, what someone else does, observe the masses, do the opposite. Number two, decide how you want to live. Build the business around the life you want to live. Okay, build the business around your life, not the other way. Number three, stop worrying about what others think about you and recognize the cost. What has cost you not being the highest version of yourself, your gifts, your talents, your skills. Number four, create your own lane. Create your own lane. Okay. And versus stay in your lane. No. Okay. Create your own lane. All right. Number five, recognize that self-trust will make you rich. Okay. Self-trust will make you rich, and self-doubt the opposite. All right. Number six, understand that just because you don't know what it might look like doesn't mean it's going to take you a long time. All right. I want to hear your ahas, your takeaways. Now's your chance to post them here. And number seven, give up on the idea that doing what you want to do, launching, being the highest version of yourself, using your gifts, your talents, starting this business, right? That it's got to be hard. It's got to have hustle and grind in it. It's got to have a million funnels, all of these things. It doesn't. All right. And number eight, register for the Giant Experience, right? If you're ready to play full out. And meaning leverage your gifts full out, really come to understand what you do not know about how impactful you can be with the right models. And that's one of the things that I've learned over the years, is that not all models are the same. Not all models are the same. Okay. All right. So let me see your ahas, your takeaways. I'm going to grab a couple of the comments here. And let's see here. Jennifer says her comment was creating your own lane, right? Creating your own lane. Okay, absolutely. That was your biggest aha. Linda says you were meant to create your own lane. So that resonated with you as well. It's so important to understand that that is really important. Here's the link. Just go to miaredrick.com. If you can't click on it, just go to miaredrick.com and you'll see right there in the master training. Sandy says that her aha was focus on your own uniqueness. That was the one for you. Great picture, by the way, Sandy. I love it. IS Boyd says, okay, great. Okay. Banika says, a personal aha is that I also learned how to swim and cycle and complete a sprint triathlon after thinking it would be too difficult. And I definitely met myself. So you met yourself. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? Okay, awesome. Okay. Another aha was the money is in the model. Okay. IS says self-trust will make you rich. Absolutely. Absolutely. Janet aha is really know how impactful you can be with the right models for you. And, it's different for every single person of what it looks like. Edie says, create your own lane. It does not have to be hard, but you will need to do the work. You have to do the work, right? But it doesn't have to be this climb that is so difficult and unbearable. Sandra says, my aha is self-trust. Self-trust is trust your gut, right? Trust that internal GPS. Thomasine says, it's not hard even if I do not know how to do it, and it doesn't have to be hard. I say this to my team all the time. They say they don't know how to do something. I often will say, but if you knew how to do it, what would that look like? Okay. Super important, right? And Erica says, aha, get rid of the toxic hustle and grind mindset. Absolutely. You guys have some good ones here. And Latrice, love that name. Latrice Love. Self-trust is wealth. Isn't that so powerful? Isn't it powerful? And Jennifer says, getting to know and embracing your organic self. And I know that that's where all of your power is. And this idea of being a smaller version, that's why, if you see a program that says, do it exactly like this and not be who you are, it's not going to be the answer for you to be your highest and tallest self, because all of your giftedness comes from your uniqueness. It comes from embracing that organic part of you. So important. And IS says, knowing what I'm good at gives me a wonderful burning in my soul. You just need to put the pieces together. You need to come to the Giant Experience and have me ask you some questions around what it is that you do specifically, so that we can elevate what the options look like. A lot of times, we can't coach ourselves, and a lot of times we can't see what we don't know. We're not playing with yet. But when you see different models of how I coach women right there at the Giant Experience, you really come to understand what the possibilities could look like for you that you've never thought about before. All right, Facebook user, aha. Focus on my uniqueness and create my own lane, build the business around my life, and decide how I want to live. So important. And then we have Tanya says, my aha is trusting in myself without doubt or fear. Absolutely. Like without it. And if you do have that twinge of fear, which we all have, is that you got to lean into it, because on the other side of fear, you get to live with a different gift. You get to know a different part of yourself. You get to understand what you really are capable of that you haven't danced with yet. Really, really powerful. Any other ahas or takeaways? Did you get value tonight? All right. Did you get value tonight? I know that based on this live tonight, this would be an amazing class for the Giant Experience. And I look forward to seeing you there. If you're watching the replay, I want to see your comments also. Bonika says, oh, thank you so much. She says, thank you. You are such a blessing. Have you started your training yet? Have you started your training yet? I know you'll love it. Paula says her aha is, the money is in the model. The money is in the model, okay? And Jennifer, absolutely, yes. That's how I think you said that, okay? By the way, okay. Yes, I have. Awesome. I'm so glad. Sandy writes here. I'm signing up. You are amazing. Sandy, wait till next week. Then you can come back. You can come back now. Well, it's 11 and 12th. You can come back on the 13th, and you can tell all the people who didn't come how amazing it was. Maybe you and I will come on StreamYard. We will come on StreamYard on the 13th. Chris, you write this down, okay? Sandy and I'll come on, and then she'll tell you what she learned. And you guys could either live vicariously through her, and she won't be the same person. And I am not hyping you guys because I don't have to, okay? But I can tell you for sure that women who come to the Giant Experience, they are no longer the same. They are elevated in terms of understanding how to take what their knowledge is and how to package it into a high ticket model on or offline. They are forever changed. Let's see. And Tessa says, I just got here. You got to watch the replay, Tessa. I can't catch you up now. All right, I can't catch you up now. But it was a really good live. You'll love it. Latrice said, I'll be signing up soon. Come on, Latrice. Soon. Figure it out. Say yes, figure it out. And then Paula says, no hype. Now, you were there, Paula. You were there, right? And there's no hype necessary. It's real. And Sandra, I want to sign up, but I work on the weekends, but you are awesome. Thank you so much. Awesome. Sandra, got to figure it out. You just got to figure it out. You can always listen to the replays. It's not the same. And, the times on Saturday are from 11. Now, Chrissy, to write this, I don't even remember, but I think it's from 11 o'clock to about 6 or 7 o'clock on Saturday. And then Sunday from 11 to 1. Okay. So it is Saturday and Sunday, and everything's recorded. You get 30-day access to the training in the portal. And then the live time with me is next week. All right. And it's super transformational. Linda, that's right. Linda, you'll be there, right? Linda, you're looking forward. You're coming next week, right? In December. I cannot wait. I'm excited to support you. Jennifer says, I have to figure it out also. Really need this. You got to figure it out. Say yes, then figure it out. That's it. All right. And if you need a payment plan or something like that, inbox Trizia at Redrick Team at gmail.com. So 11 to 7 on Saturday and 11 to 2 on Sunday. So doable to change your life. All right. Any final questions or comments before I sign off? Any final questions or comments before I sign off? I want to thank you for being amazing today. Amazing. Did I say amazing? I don't even know how many comments, but there were a lot. And I appreciate that, because I do. That's how you talk back to me and how I hear you. And I know that this resonated with you. And you could have been anywhere, but you decided to be here. And you're here for a reason, all right? Tag a friend, send this to a friend, share on your Facebook page so that we can let other folks know, that if it was a great message, other people can benefit. Andrea says, I got to figure it out. Yeah, you got to figure it out. Listen, the thing is, when I went to my first live event, my coach was selling coaching for $1,000 an hour, and I had to sign up for 12 months. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to ask you. I'm so grateful I figured that out. Okay, Cherry says, thank you for this live. It was everything. It is everything. Awesome. Sandra said, I have to figure it out, Mia, because I need this. Come on. All right, it'll be worth it. All right. And Andrea says, this is a great love. I appreciate you guys. Have a great and amazing night. And I'll talk to you soon. I'll see many of you next week. And I look forward to that. Talk to you soon. Bye.